We've had a ton of video game announcements this year, so right now we're going to be covering these 4 events. We've already made a video covering some of the games that had previous announcements but got new information and trailers. This video is going to cover some of my, well, specifically 10 of my games that I am very excited about that are new announcements. So keep an eye out on these games and enjoy the list. And keep in mind that this isn't a quality order, 10 isn't better than 1 or so on. These are just games that I'm excited about. Let me know what you're excited about. Now let's start off with number 10. Boop. First up, we have One Piece Grand Gourmet. This has you working with the Straw Hat Pirates to open and run a new bratier restaurant based off of Sanji's original restaurant. And this feels very important to me because we constantly get the same anime brawler arena style game over and over again, and I'm kind of tired of it. I want more anime IPs to experiment with what they can bring to the table, and this is so far out of their comfort zone, so far out of the comfort zone of any anime IP that we've seen lately, that this feels good. This feels like a creative outlet, and I want to see it succeed so that we can prove that yes, we want more than just the standard arena brawler every single time. Plus, there's over 400 characters here, and all the different dishes and whatnot. They are all lovingly handcrafted with pixel art. There's a lot of detail here. They use different devil fruit powers to make different dishes. You grow the bratier restaurant, and you get regulars and whatnot. It feels like a great homage for One Piece fans, while also scratching that cooking mama itch that I feel like a lot of us have that has not been satisfied lately. So I'm hopeful for this one. I want to see it succeed just for the sake of more diversity and variety in the games that we get from the different IPs we love. Well, anyways, here's number 9. Here we have Vivarium. Vivarium is described as a life sim adventure that features hand-illustrated art inspired by timeless anime classics, where you explore a perfect pocket world to reveal its secrets and progress through a non-linear narrative shaped by your choices. So again, this looks like a game that's going to have a lot of cozy vibes, a lot of great aesthetics to it that calls back to like the 80s and 90s anime eras. And the fact that it's all hand-illustrated is a beautiful thing to hear this day and age. Not only that, but there's something comforting about the trailer and the way I'm watching it. Now, and beyond that, non-linear narrative shaped by your choices tells me, okay, we're getting choices. Like, it is a branching narrative, probably multiple endings. And this looks so pure, so kind-spirited, and so warm that the cynic in me cannot trust it. Amori has given me permanent trust issues after playing that game, so I feel like there's some darker secret hiding just below the surface of this adorably beautiful trailer that we've seen for this game. Either way, it has me intrigued. I love me a good indie game and a good narrative, so I'm really curious about this one, how it plays out, especially with that ending shot of the actual Vivarium, which is like a small ecosystem in what looks like an abandoned house, and how that could ultimately play a role into this quote-unquote perfect pocket world. Anyways, it's something I'm really interested in. I hope you are too. I believe you can wishlist it now. And now let's run into the next game, shall we? This next game feels like a fever dream that it got a trailer at all. It's something that's been in doubt for so long because of the change of studio hands, the development change, and everything that's gone with the history of this game. I love the first one so much, and that's The Wolf Among Us. It's getting a sequel game, Wolf Among Us 2. The Wolf Among Us is by far my favorite Telltale game, bar none. I absolutely love the setting, I love the world, I really got into the characters, the interactions, how violent and visceral it felt, how the mystery kind of looped itself around everybody, and there was these great twists and some predictable moments, honestly, but there was so much character to The Wolf Among Us, and I always wanted to get a season 2 of that game, but Telltale had a lot of issues, and they ended up changing development studios. It was a mess. It was a mess. There's no other way to really say it. It was a mess. What was happening behind the scenes. The fact this game is happening at all is a miracle. The fact that they say it's coming out next year has me shocked and dumbfounded, but I am also sat, engaged, and locked in. I am absolutely going to be playing this. Anyways, that's like, if you haven't played Wolf Among Us, do yourself a favor. It's on sale all the time. Go ahead and pick it up. Now let's move on to the next game, shall we? God of War Laufe is There isn't much to say here. I feel like everything that needs to be said is said. This is a really inspiring game that addresses the story of Faye, Kratos' wife, who we never really got to know in a more intimate manner. Now we're going to see why Kratos loves her so much and what a badass she actually is. All these stories about how she would face off against Thor and whatnot. We can see her combat prowess on full display. We get a better understanding of who Kratos fell in love with, how they maybe built their bonds, and maybe we get to see more into their relationship as well. Not only that, but she provides such a clean new step into their gameplay direction for combat style, being incredibly distinct from Kratos's. With the new sword and the ribbons and the fact that they're sentient, Frank the Cube is a little divisive. Divisive, that's the word that I'm looking for. Divisive for some folks. I like him. I think he's funny. I think he's charming. I like how he just rushes in and fights and helps you out and whatnot. But also, this new super afterlife for the gods, it's opening up more doors for the universe itself because we're seeing more mythologies cross over. We're seeing Tibetan gods, we're seeing Egyptian gods, and who knows what other mythologies we'll see in this game and what paths they'll ultimately open for the future of the God of War series. Now, I'm excited for this game. It's a series that I mostly watch others play rather than play myself, so I'm really curious about how people are going to enjoy this game. That being said, the internet's full of grifters, and you should probably ignore the people. You know who I'm talking about, and you know what they're saying. The game looks good. It looks like it's going to be fun. Enjoy it. Much love and happiness. Next game. This next game showed up, gave us absolute crumbs, and yet still had me basically frothing at the mouth for more. It opens with the iconic music. It takes a moment for you to understand what the music is, and then it clicks. Not only that, not only what this game is, but who it's being developed by. One of my all-time favorite studios, the studio behind Bayonetta, Nier Automata, Ninja Gaiden, and more, Platinum Games, is developing the Last Ronin game. For those of you who don't know, The Last Ronin is a very much darker take on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, where Michelangelo is the only surviving turtle. He has adopted the weapons of all of his fallen brothers, and now he's on a journey of revenge. And that happy, funny-go-lucky guy is now much more battle-hardened, and you get to see why he was given the title of like having so much potential compared to everyone else. That he had the most potential, but he would always slack off. And now what happens when he finally locks in? And the story of how he maybe became the last Ronin, what happened to his brothers. These things that are covered in comics that not everyone's read will be finally playable in a whole new narrative. And this style of combat feels like it's gonna fit perfectly between Platinum Games and the Ninja Turtles. I am incredibly excited for this game, especially with the more single-player focus that Platinum tends to take. It's going to be an incredible game to witness. I'm just wish that we got to witness any of it, because the trailer gave us nothing. Either way, it's happening. I'm excited, and I hope you are too. Next game. Sometimes you just want silly, fun, and whimsical, and I feel like that's what we're getting with Bad Magpie. For those of you that have played, like, what's it called? Untitled Goose Game, I think. This gives a very similar vibe, with a very chaotic bird, getting into all kinds of shenanigans all around the area, facing threats, puzzles, and more. It's described as you are a magpie with one wing and a missing flock, and an unhealthy obsession with a fallen star. Steal shiny trinkets, cause chaos, and stick your beak where it doesn't belong. Now this shiny star is clearly some kind of space alien thing, so I don't know if it's going to hatch into an eldritch abomination or what. What I do know is that in the first few moments of the trailer, this magpie picks up a lit cigarette, looks at the smiling flowers, and fills them with fear as they realize it's going to burn them all down. Whimsy! Anyways, it just looks fun. It looks fun. I like these kind of creative games that differ from the norm, that end up making you try different experiences, and you know, you could have a really great time if you just open your mind. Anyways, I'm looking forward to it. I believe you can wish us it now. Let's go to the next game. This next game had me in absolute shock because I could not for the life of me figure out what it was at first. I'm a huge Gundam fan. I love mechas. And I figured that from the suits we were seeing in this, that was something that's more Gundam inspired, because there's a lot of mechas that are Gundam inspired that look similar to Gundams. Mecha Break is honestly taking some design philosophies from there too. The fact that the V wasn't like perfectly shaped and whatnot, I was like, there's no way this is Gundam. And especially with the more organic, bestial, alien-like enemies that they seem to be fighting, these like biomechanical mutant-looking things, it looks so alien and foreign that everything in my mind said, nah, no, this can't be Gundam. And then it was. It's Gundam Rogue Orbit, and the gameplay is so wildly different from anything I've seen from Gundam, being more stylish, action-based, more combo-based, fast-moving, adaptive, and impactful. I don't think Gundam's ever looked this good in a video game from a gameplay perspective. Now, the CGI cutscenes and the poster and artwork, they have some concerns, and I don't have proof of those concerns, so I'm not going to bring them up yet. But I do have some worry about those, and I'm hoping they don't make their way to the game, because the gameplay itself looks fantastic. Like, that's what I'm actually interested in. I'm hoping that the CGI stuff that we saw and that the promo poster are just placeholders or something, because, like I said, I got concerns. I can't prove them, but they're there. Was that a dragon? I think they fought a dragon in that trailer. Anyways, I love Gundam and mechas. I think this has a lot of potential to be a very strong entry for Gundam, and one of the most stylish games that we've seen in the mecha genre in a long time. So, let's take a look at the next game, shall we? Next up, we have The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time remake. This game is one that I've never experienced the original version of. I don't have a lot of experience with Zelda games. I haven't fully played one, and I actually made like a short video about that, asking for people's opinions about which one I should explore first. And I'm supposed to play a Zelda game this year because of an agreement I have with a friendo who saves channel points over on stream and whatnot. It's a whole thing, right? I'm supposed to play a Zelda game, and then this was announced. I'm wondering if this is the right moment for me to jump into a Zelda game. It has my attention because it's a full remake from the ground up of such a classically beloved game. And it's supposedly releasing this year, but I feel like we should have seen some gameplay or something. Either way, I know it has a lot of people's curiosity, it has a lot of people's attention, and we're not quite sure how this is all going to shape up, what's going to be the same, what's going to be different, but this may be the new ideal entry point for fans of the franchise or people who have been curious about Zelda games. Let me know what Zelda game you guys think new players should try first, or if they should be waiting for this remake. In the meantime, let's check out the next game. Okay, I know I'm cheating a little bit with this one because it isn't a new game, it's an expansion, but it's one I'm really excited about, so let me yap for just a moment, please! Anyways, Monster Hunter Wilds Ascending is the massive expansion coming to the game next year. Now we're going to the skies. Everyone's got new designs and outfits. It looks like there's been a time skip between the main story and the events of this game, or this expansion, and it's hard not to call it its own game, because the way Monster Hunter treats its expansions, it effectively doubles the size of the base game, and then they support that for another year or two until they develop the next game. It's the future of Monster Hunter right here is what we're looking at. We're seeing new monsters with interesting designs, new mechanics, like the Boost Bracer is incredible looking. Boost Bracer is something that I'm really curious about because it looks like there's power-up moves, there's rocket modes, there's machine gun modes. We're seeing the return of some old monsters, and everyone's curious about what the roster is going to look like. We know Elder Dragons are back. We saw Kushala. We saw Lao Shao, which I don't think we've seen since, like, I don't know. When was the last time we even saw that guy? Was it Monster Hunter 2? Was that it? I might be misremembering, but it's been ages since we've seen him. And the coloration of the logo has people wondering if, like, Fatalis is coming back, specifically White Fatalis. Either way, hopes are really high for this expansion, and it is one of my most anticipated things that's releasing next year. I know me and my friends are all looking forward to it, and we've been helping new players kind of rank their way up to prepare for this content. Please give me Shagru and Zenogre. It feels like a given, but throw in Brachia as well, if you would be so kind. Anyways, let's take a look at the next actual game, shall we? Another game that barely gave us crumbs, but has me absolutely starving for more. Persona 6. me and a lot of my friendos are huge Persona fans. It's a game that I'm really looking forward to just because it's Persona. That's all it really takes. To give you an idea of how excited I am, if you look on my channel, there is a video where we took apart this 1 minute teaser trailer. We ended up on stream analyzing that 1 minute for like an hour straight to try and theorize and figure out what we could put together. And I ended up making like a 5 to 8 minute video about it on YouTube. You can go check it out. It's on the video feed there. But that's how invested I am. I ended up making a whole video about it. We ended up dissecting a 1 minute teaser for that long. I'm curious about what the game's going to be heading, what the new characters are going to be like, and what the director is going to be taking. To my understanding, the director for this one is actually the director of 1 and 2, which 1 and 2 isn't really something people look back on as having aged well. And with the Persona series, like more stylish direction, more aesthetic direction it's been taking, it's very curious to see where this goes, because right now it looks more horror, occult, and intense is the word I feel like I have to use here. Personally, I think that the plot's going to revolve around some kind of plague or illness or virus, and people are going to accuse each other of being infected. That's where my mind's going off the teaser. I want to know where your mind's going off this teaser. Anyways, there's not a lot to say here because there wasn't a whole lot shown, even if I'm a crazy person that dissects things for that amount of time. So we're just going to call it a video there, and let's wrap up our thoughts. So those were 6 games coming out that I am looking, not 6, oh my god, I can't even count. Those were 10 games coming out that I was excited for. I said 6 because I was still thinking of Persona 6. Either way, these are all new games that are coming out, plus one expansion. I want to hear from you guys. What are some of your favorites from this list, and what are some games that you're looking forward to that are still yet to come out, that are newly announced? And do you have any hopes for any of the other gaming events coming up? Because there's still Gamescom, there's Tokyo Game Show. We know we'll hear about stuff at the Game Awards. It's a good time to be a gamer. It is such a good time to be a fan of video games. Much love and happiness to you, and I'll catch you all next time. Bye-bye.